Welcome to NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And some breaking news happened over the last, let's say about 16 hours. There's a new DC in Philadelphia. We'll get to that one in a little bit. But there's two head coaching spots that were filled. The Chargers signing Jim Harbaugh. The Panthers making the announcement that they are hiring Dave Canales, the offensive coordinator of the Bucs. Let's start with Canales. Canales, 1 year offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so in-division rival. Canales doesn't really have a whole lot of experience, but the Panthers felt there was enough and that they decided to go in that direction. When the Panthers job came open, I said it was going to have to be a young coach that was going to be willing, and I'm going to curse here, so don't be shocked. That was going to be willing to deal with David Tepper's bullshit. And that's what happened. Canales is a young coach, helped out Baker Mayfield, now is going to help out Bryce Young and that Panthers offense. The one concern I think I have, the Bucs were not really able to run the football this year. And besides the game against Philadelphia in the wild card round, they didn't do much of it. That's a concern. Other than that, I don't mind the hire. I think it had to be a young coach, not a guy on the second or third go around. So Dave Canales is now the man in Carolina. The man in the charge with the Chargers is now Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh left his post in Michigan, said, "Okay, I'm going to go be the Chargers head coach." He now has Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, and a group of young, talented players on the offensive side, and a veteran defense with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa leading the crew. This is the right hire. They absolutely got this right. How are Harbaugh and Spanos going to be able to coexist is another question. But as of now, they got their man. They got the right guy for this team to just create an identity. Because I don't think they have an identity. Now, the weird thing that happened was we saw a report this morning that stated that Colin Kaepernick could be on Jim Harbaugh's staff. And then there was saying, well, all these guys who are free agent coaches could be on his staff. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I just don't. I was like, as a quarterback, as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator. So then it was asked, well, what happens with Kellen Moore? I thought they liked Kellen Moore. Well, Kellen Moore has gotten interviews with the Cleveland Browns and now got an interview with the Philadelphia Eagles. So it is going to be an interesting couple days for Kellen Moore. Let's see what he decides to do. Or maybe Jim Harbaugh is just going to keep him. We have no idea about that. But as of now, Jim Harbaugh is the coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, that does leave a few head coaching open. The Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons, and if I remember correctly, because as I was calculating this all last night, I said, okay, the Chargers, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Titans spot is filled. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to think this all out off the top of my head. You have Atlanta, Seattle, and let's see what else is it. No. I'm thinking of this in real time. So it's no, there is 3. Okay. I'm just trying to think of the third team here. Atlanta, Seattle, and I'm blanking on one. It'll come to me. But there's 3 spots open, 2 that I can think of. It's an interesting move, to say the least. Um, I kinda wanna see what's the move forward, what's the plan, and go from there. That's the the Washington job, thank you. I remember that now. So it's Washington, Atlanta, and Seattle, and there's 3 coaches in the wind, but and 5 coordinators that could be head coaches in the next 2 games that we see played. Steve Wilks could be a head coach with not see that, it's up for debate. Mike Macdonald, the Ravens defensive coordinator, the Ravens offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, could be a head coach. Uh, Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator of the Lions, and Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator of the Lions, could be all head coaches that we foresee. And then you still have Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel, and Bill Belichick in the wind. So there's a lot of options here. Now, the Eagles did hire a defensive coordinator. This happened very quickly as they decided they were going to go with Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio parted ways with the Dolphins yesterday. Is it getting interviewed today and is going to sign with the Eagles. So more problems in the NFC in the Eagles. Hopefully this fixes their issues, but with still Belichick, Vrabel, Carroll all in the wind, and with 2 jobs filled, with Harbaugh taking the Chargers job and Canales taking the Panthers job. We'll let you know if there's any more breaking news over the course of the day and throughout this whole process of the head coaching search. But for right now, for NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.